Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, and Coach Josh Allen of the Ponca City Wildcat football team. Big road game to Norman. We're going to recap that. We're also going to talk about the Muskogee Roughers coming to town. Senior night, always a special game and a special night at Solon Stadium, and that's coming up Friday night. First, let's turn our attention to Norman. It was a non-district matchup. Norman's a pretty big school, Norman Tigers, and you did see some things you really liked. Of course, the Wildcats came out on the losing end of that game as far as the scoreboard is concerned. But as a coach, you're looking at that film on Sunday, and you're thinking, you know what? There were some highlights to talk about. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys just overall competed well, played hard, and that's what you look for is how well, you can live. Sometimes, it's hard to live with losses at any time, but I mean, you can. It's much easier when your guys battled and played hard, and I thought our guys battled and played hard in that game. Saw a lot of good competitive from guys like Eli Wall, sophomore safety for us. Had an interception, almost took it the distance, and on a kickoff return almost took it the distance just because he's just a hard and strong competitor. I thought other guys on defense played well, and our defensive staff, coaching staff, did a great job of putting some adjustments together to counter what Norman was doing, and we really Norman had some size. A little bit of size advantage on us, and I thought we eventually stopped their run fairly well. Offensively, it wasn't our best game, but it wasn't our worst game. We put some drives together and were sharp at times. At times we weren't. So, we're probably a little bit, just probably needed to be a little more sharp in that game. But still, I thought Justin Andrews and the guys competed well. Our quarterback, I thought he battled hard, and Reese Webb, our tackle, and Cooper Lively played hard on the offensive line, and guys like Dalton Vogel competed well at wide receiver.
Now, when they're coming off a couple of really tough games, and they go into Norman and they show you that kind of performance, it's got to make you feel good as a coach. You're seeing how the coaching and how they're really working hard to improve, and it's actually you're seeing it on the field.
It's easy to throw, in sports, that term, cliche, easy to throw in the towel, and that's there's truth to that, and the fact that when you've had some played didn't play well and had some big losses, that you sometimes let's just hurry up and get this over with, or we're not going to win, or that type of thing. And I didn't think our guys had that in this game. They fought hard, and defensively they bounced back from a tough week at Sepulpa the week before.
Right.
Didn't really play well at Sepulpa. And really came back and played a tough game against some big guys, and I thought that I was really proud of our guys. That's what we were looking for, is how well we fight and compete. We got a lot of sophomores playing, just so how well we fight and compete, and I think I thought we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Friday night lights will be on at Solon Stadium for senior night this Friday night. And I know your team and your seniors especially, that's always a very special night. And Coach, you've been there and witnessed senior night, and how it can be a completely different ball game, especially when some of these players, these seniors, know this is their final game at Solon Stadium. Tell us about senior night before we talk specifics about Muskogee. Tell us about how special senior night is for your team.
Oh, no doubt. Coaches, it's just getting to it's special for them. Their family, their parents come down to the field. Coaches are all the varsity coaching staff's there, and they get recognized over the loudspeaker. And it can be a little touching for some of those guys. It's their last time that they're going to play an organized football game on that field, and so many, it can be at times where you really get to stop, look at the kid, the person, and shake their hands. Yeah. And say thank you for all your hard work and what you meant to the program, and you get to really tell them personally right there. So that's always a big deal.
Do you ever see psychologically? Does it amp up their game? They're out there like this is it, and they just put it all out.
Oh there? Yeah, we've had many performances. We've always performed well on senior night. Had several of my wins I've been here at Ponca have been on the last game of the year. And you get it's not just the seniors, the underclassmen. Send these guys out on a good note.
Yeah.
So you preach that. And no, you see some good energy. I mean, there's, one that sticks out is in 2013. We were not very, at that year we didn't have a great season. I don't think we didn't win a game that year. But I remember 2013 we have Tulsa Union coming in.
Yeah.
And I think eventual state champions and we play them we play them a decent game.
Yeah.
I think we scored a couple touchdowns and really held them in check as far as the score didn't get just totally out of hand. And I thought we played really hard. And I remember some individual performances like, man, that guy's running really hard tonight. Yeah. And it was it was one of our seniors. So senior night can bring that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk Muskogee Roughers. They come to town, and Muskogee, how are they and what are you looking for?
Well, they're talented. I mean, this will be one of the top talented teams. They're currently sitting number 3 in our district behind BTW and Bigsby. And that's their only 2 losses in district have been those 2 teams. Their talent level, probably the best wide receiving core in the district, best quarterback in the district on the offensive side. Defensive side, probably the best front 7, defensive line and linebackers in the district. And then probably only behind BTW, probably the best secondary. So
wow.
we've got our hands full.
Sure.
There is some things, the scores have not been near as they're not winning games as a margin like a BTW or Bigsby. Games are closer. They don't running the ball has been a little bit of a problem for them on offense. They've had some offensive line injuries, and I think that's their tough spot right now is their offensive line. And then in the on the defensive side, there is some grass spots there that we can maybe try to hit some things on, and then run the ball. If we just get physical and we're gonna have to run our quarterback a little bit, then maybe we can move the ball that way a little bit.
Is it hard to put together a game plan until you watch their film and you kind of analyze where their weaknesses might be and where you
I really don't. Without film, there is no game plan. So if football's becoming, especially high school level, it's so X and O oriented.
Yeah.
It'd be different. Like if we had, Barry Sanders or Justice Hill right now, then you don't have to get as specific sometimes. Just give the ball. But football and the high school football is so good now with the coaching as good as it was. It's come down over the years. It's got real where X and O's really matter, and film is important. You got to you got to call plays within your offense. You don't install them. You within your offense. You got to pick the plays out or put certain plays that attack certain fronts and coverages.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
Offensively, and on the vice versa, defenses, you got to have a plan defensively to counter what they do best.
Yeah. We're looking for a big crowd. Solon Stadium Friday night, senior night, Muskogee in town, and we hope to see you at Solon Stadium. Before we wrap up with Coach Allen, your seniors playing in their last game. For those players that are going to be sticking around, some will go to other sports. Tell us about the off-season program, and of course with that beautiful facility that you have there. You got to be excited to fully get in there and use it in the off-season.
Oh, no doubt. Off-season in football in the state of Oklahoma has it's grown bigger and bigger over the years. In some instances, maybe it's gone a little too much into some of the summer stuff. I mean. But no, off-season's huge for us. Obviously, guys go to their winter sports, wrestling or basketball or baseball. But, we've implemented at Ponca in the last year or two a first hour or early morning weightlifting. And, I hope our football team, and we have a large number of our guys, most of our guys implemented in that. That'll make us better. And I'm a big believer in that. Been in programs where I've seen that. And we will go over the winter months and really hit the weight room hard. And then, when it warms up, we'll still lift all second semester. Even in the spring, we'll lift hard, but we'll also implement speed and agility and stuff when the weather warms up. I know of talking to some coaches, want to start working with quarterbacks, even the junior high. Any quarterbacks in our town and our grade system start a quarterback school and start working with them in the off season. I know Coach Snelling wants to get with wide receivers and start doing some stuff, and I know Coach Tagg in the summertime wants to have weekly O-line workouts and stuff. So, those are some of the things we're probably going to be even more progressive in those areas, especially with having O-line and wide receiver, weekly things in the summertime to get that development going. Yeah. And so, no, we're going to look at offseason is going to be big, and that's where we've got it. It's where you get better at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Well, before we wrap up this edition of Coach's Corner, this is off topic a little bit. We're all excited about senior night. By the way, next edition of Coach's Corner, Coach Josh Allen will be back. We'll be recapping the Muskogee game and recapping the season on our next edition of Coach's Corner. Before I let you go, Coach, let's talk Bedlam.
That's right.
Come on. Saturday's the game, right? OU, OSU.
This is huge game.
This is unbelievable.
Yes.
ESPN, game day, they don't have the rights to the game.
I know.
They're not broadcasting the game, but they're doing game day in Stillwater, and Fox Sports 1, FS1, is doing the game. That's kind of unusual.
Well, the suits at ESPN got beat out by the suits at Fox, it looks like, I guess. Or Fox wanted the Big 12 more than ESPN did. But anyway, Fox has got it. I've enjoyed that. I think they have. But over the years, their broadcast seems to get better. But yeah, it's a strange deal. ESPN will be in Stillwater with their studio with game day,
right,
and not be doing the game. Yeah.
From a coach's perspective, your opinion of this year's Bedlam. This is huge.
Yeah. Well, I was raised in a household, by the way, just letting the biases go. I was raised a Sooner fan in my household, but since as being a coach in the coaching profession, I really do appreciate how Gundy treats high school coaches and the Oklahoma State staff. So I have fondness for them too. The game. Both offenses I think are the most prolific in the country.
Yeah.
Defenses on either side have obviously some weak spots there. But I thought OSU's defense has played well the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So so I have to give them some credit there, where I think OU's secondary and some of them have had some serious problems there. Yeah. So I don't know who I give the edge to. It's at home at Stillwater, so maybe Oklahoma State has got a slight edge, but I don't know. Baker Mayfield, I would never put anything against him and his tight end Mark Andrews and such, but OSU's got playmakers too. I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to come down to the wire. If you're looking at me to make a prediction, which I think you are.
He knows where I was going.
That deal. I'll probably go where my slight bias goes. The Sooners pull it out.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you heard him there. I'm going the other way. I'm saying the Cowboys are going to find a way to win it in Boone Pickens Stadium. Anyway, it's going to be fun. All right. Again, we want to see you at Sullivan Stadium Friday night, senior night. Muskogee Ruffers coming to town. It is Ponca City Wildcat football head coach Josh Allen, and we'll have him on the next edition of Coach's Corner as well. Coach, thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
John. Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Coach's Corner. I'm Sean Anderson, your host, and we appreciate you listening. Until next time.